All right, I'm going to have a go at the Guardian's Cryptic Crossword for Friday, August 23rd, sent today by Paul. Let's see what Paul has for us. Cash, both extremes, described by newspaper articles like so. I'm definitely feeling cash, both extremes is wordplay, and it might simply be the outer letters of cash. So we're going to have a CH, and that will be described by, which we've seen can be surrounded by newspaper articles. I'm thinking we're going to have a short newspaper, which is often the I, letter I, and then articles can be AN, and V. So then, like so, I'm thinking it's going to be an and lit or a clue and definition where that wordplay also describes the answer. So it's something about money. Well, I want it to be something like cash or credit, but cash is in the clue. But then we're going to have that CH, I think, somewhere. Itch or something. Oh, how about rich? Rich are. Yeah, rich are. Both extremes. Yeah, I'm not getting it. Let's try some downs. Another hearing it. Rare, rare. Owl's back. Well, that double rare is very unusual. Another hearing it? Is that telling us it's a homophone of rare? Yeah, and then rare owl's back. No, don't know it. Measure of corporation. In hindsight, rightfully upset. Well, we know from other clues corporation can refer to your stomach. So I'm wondering measure of corporation could it be something like your waist? In hindsight, rightfully, is it a hidden clue in hindsight? Rightfully upset? No, don't see that either. Killing in order, not everyone for the dictator. Ooh, the question mark worries me. Otherwise, I would think it was just going to be the name of a famous dictator. But who's 4-3 as a dictator? And then killing in order, not everyone. So that would be some, I suppose, or many. Yeah, oh my goodness. How about number one in head after zero? Oh no. Yeah, where's the definition here? Number one after zero. Yeah, head after zero sounds like wordplay. Maybe a word that begins with an O, and then we have something for head, and it's going to be number one. No, game of cards, simple game, where hand thrown in. I'm thinking it's going to be a card game, but then maybe there's some other game where we put in, can hand be abbreviated to H? And then maybe thrown in, there's some anagramming. No, that's a 9-letter card game. No, all right. Shriek, having lost a companion. It sounds like it sucks. Okay, I think that's the definition. Yeah, but it sounds like it sucks. What is that, a Hoover? And I think we're going to have to think of a longer word for shriek. And we're going to remove maybe a pal for a companion. No. We'll try one more down. Oh, this is a long fella. Whitehall greed with African trips. That cargo needs protection. Oh, I'm wondering if we're going to anagram Whitehall greed and African. Maybe trips is the anagram indicator. And the definition is that cargo needs protection. Let me pause and see if I can spot an anagram there. All right, so first of all, I counted the letters in Whitehall Greed African. It is the right number of letters, 21. And then I did think about cargo needing protection. I thought of handle with care, that is in there. And when you remove those letters, the letters that are left over spell fragile, of course, handle with care. So thank goodness I finally get one, and it's nice and long. So hopefully that will be just the thing I need. Let me go back to the crosses. Body, jeepers, exuded fluid. All right, so I'm thinking exuded fluid is the definition, like leaked or something like that. And then maybe it's a charade, a short word for body, and then some kind of exclamation like jeepers. But if it's going to end in ed, what would a jeepers be ending in ed? No, I don't see that. How about sun with dawn briefly seen? I think again we're going to have a charade of, I think S for sun with something dawn briefly, so it might just be a short version of dawn. And it's going to mean seen? No. How about mechanism on bike? All rider has used, oddly when changing. So I think it's going to be a mechanism on bike. Now, is that a push bike or a motorbike? Carburetor. So I think we're going to have at least partially an anagram. I think the changing is going to tell us to anagram. And we need 10 letters. All rider has is too long. Maybe all rider with the odd letters of used, U and an E. Yeah, let me try the anagram helper for that. All rider and then U and E. That's a lot of vowels. Oh my goodness, there are those brakes on I don't know, acoustic bicycles. Derailleur. Yeah, I think it must be Derailleur. I'm sure my viewer from France knows how to spell that, but I think that's right. I won't use the check this. We'll just rely on the crossing letters. All right, take a seat in restaurant, perhaps. Not beyond solver. I'm thinking take a seat in a restaurant, perhaps, is the definition. But maybe it's, a bit of a stretch as a definition. But then not beyond solver. So do we have a word for solver and then something for not? I'm wondering if it's something like gastro something. No. All right, how about llama and ape scrapping? In goes hard, chest beating primate. All right, 9 letters. Llama plus ape is only 8, but I think we put H for hard as well. Again, I'm going to rely on the anagram helper, and it should be a chest beating. It's an alpha male, of course. There we go. So it doesn't have to be um, a monkey or a chimp. All right. Wait. Potu. Ooh. Um. So, of course, we know the abbreviation POTUS as the President of the United States. Because we're dropping the S, and I think the definition would be wait. I wonder if it could be stop, like S top, like S goes on top. Of course, we have POT backwards. Yeah, I'm really not sure about that. Or maybe it's a President of the United States minus the S in their name. But I don't know who that would be. Again, I'll leave it in. Actually, let's try this 14 down. Wonder, if not immediately apparent, in fridge magnet. Ooh, so could it be H something O? That seems unlikely. I think it would have to be H double O. Wonder if not. Yeah, ooh. What is fridge magnet doing here? Is that the definition? A fridge magnet is something that holds, well, what I use it for is to hold papers or things I want to remember to the fridge. Um, yeah, I'm not sure about that, but I've definitely gone off. Stop. All right, a sign of the swine being completed by cruciverbalist. Finally, Eureka. Oh, so I think Eureka is an example of an aha moment. So we have A, and then is sign of the swine a ham? Oh, it's a ham omen, I think, being completed by the last letter of cruciverbalist. There we go. Yeah, I think I was very fortunate that my brain fired up and I saw Eureka and I had an aha moment just from the H. Anyway, ears ain't in need of treatment so well. So I think it's pretty obvious it's an anagram of ears ain't. We have to treat those letters so well. I wonder if it's referring back to ears, maybe? And so we use the wordplay as part of the definition. Or is it a well where you get water? Or just another word for doing something well? Or as a verb, to well up. Ears ain't. Yeah, an awful lot of vowels again. Let's try the anagram helper. So well. Yeah. Ooh. Tier something. Yeah, I don't think it's going to have ear in it because ears is the word play, but yeah, Yeah, I was always looking for I strain. We have AE strain. Ooh, artisan? No, almost artisan. Oh, an artesian well. Of course. Oh, that's clever. I think that's how you spell it. All right, so well, indicating a kind of well that is very uh, fiendish, but the question mark is telling us that. Exposure of song just written for the radio. So I think it might be a homophone for the radio. Um, Song just written might be something like a new air or air freshener, exposure, airing. Exposure would be airing, but song could be air. Just written for the radio. I don't get the ing or ring part. All right, flirt cut by villain with end of weapon as slash scene. I think that must be the definition at the end, as slash scene. Oh, it might be an adverb, as slash scene. I'm thinking it might end in LLY. I'm also wondering if it could be something in punctuation where you put in a forward slash or something to do with a web address maybe. But I think we're going to have a word for flirt that is cut by villain, a short word for a villain, and then with end of weapon I think is just going to be, we're going to put an N in there. So is there a word for flirt ending in LLY? No, not sure. All right, let's finish the acrosses. Boring thing, jacketed male. So it's going to be a boring thing. Is it going to be a tool that bores, or is it going to be an insect or an animal that bores? And then jacketed male, I'm thinking we're going to have an M for male and it's going to go inside a word for jacket. And therefore it would be a jacketed male. What's a 5-letter word for a jacket? Of course, it could also be man inside of a 3-letter jacket. There's a Nehru jacket, but I don't think that's going to become a boring thing by adding an M. No. Veep, unfamiliar with King Edward, game for the reporter. Oh my goodness. Is it going to be a game for the reporter, question mark, something funny? Or could it be a Veep? No, maybe Veep, unfamiliar, might be telling us to anagram Veep. King Edward was ER, Edward Rex. Yeah, I can't think of a game for the reporter with PEEVER. Of course, we might have to split King Edward and have a K or an R for King, and then Ed or Ted for Edward. Game for the reporter. Oh, I'm wondering if Now, I thought that might be a homophone, but I think that would be just too much in one clue. Surely Paul wouldn't be that cruel to us. All right, so now our wonder in fridge magnet. Yeah, it's a funny ending there. I something horrid. No. Action that brings up taste in food. Oh, I hope it's not something like acid reflux that brings up taste in food. No. Bomb ode declared, however. Oh, declared might be homophone indicator. We do have the M and the Y. Yeah, 8 letters in bomb ode. I'd love to anagram it, but that is not it. Declared. However, I'm wondering if it's something yet, maybe? Bomb ode declared. However. Yeah, I do wonder if it's some 2-word phrase for however, but I'm not thinking of like, nope. Turn to specious note. That's what it is. Oh no, so I think this might be another and lit. Turn. Could it simply be not something? If it's specious, then it's not real? Oh no, not, turn. Net something? That's what it is. No. Intended to give tips on. Well, I thought cabriolet had a T at the end, or. Anyway, intended to give tips after simple lifts. Well, I'm thinking lifts might be an indicator to reverse a word for simple. Oh yeah, so I think the tips on cabriole or cabriolet, however we're supposed to say it, might simply be the outer letters, the C and the E, and they might go after a word for simple is lifted up, and I think it's going to mean intended. Ooh, oh, I'm thinking my artesian should be. Yes, yeah, I'm sure many of you were probably not shouting it at your screens, but muttering it and hoping I would hear you. I did finally. Because I'm thinking intended could be your fiance, would be your intended. Ah, yes, and if you're simple, you're naive, a naive, I suppose. Or is naive the male form of the adjective and naive is the feminine? Yeah, I think that might be it. Oh, I do like that N now as slash seen. Something like notionally or. Yeah, not sure. All right, the last of the downs, ailing like a detective. All right, so I think it's probably going to mean ailing just because detective we see as a way to clue certain letters, the CID, our chief inspector CI. I am wondering if it might be as for like a. But I can't think of a word for ailing that begins A-S. C. Yeah, what's another word for ailing? Yeah, don't see it. All right, well, that was a very disappointing first pass through all of the clues. Let me pause for a moment, hydrate, get my bearings, and go back to the top. All right, I went back and looked at one down, and just as I tried to do is break things up, and I just read it as another hearing. And looking at the L at the end, I thought, oh, maybe it's illegal. If you get another hearing, you get a retrial. So where is our rare? We do have the letters of rare, but I don't see an owl. We do have lair backwards, but yeah, sorry, we have it and rare. Yeah, so I think it's it rare, and the second rare is telling us to anagram it rare. I don't think I've ever seen that usage for as an anagram indicator. But then owl, the back letter of owl is the final L. That's a tricky one. So now our cache, yeah, so rich. So if it is the CH going in rich, then the RI would be part of the newspaper, I think. But I don't know a newspaper with RI. Yeah, cache. No, don't see it. Oh, I should definitely be able to get killing in order. Not everyone for the dictator. The only thing I'm wondering if in order, if you did something in order, you would do it A to Z. But if it's not everyone, could it be A to M? I think they would, I think maybe give us a little bit more help if it was going to be that. And I can't think of a well, first of all, I can't think of a three-letter killing that ends in D. Unless it's Enda, which is a great Irish name, but I don't know anyone called that. Yeah, I can't think of a dictator something Tom. But there must be, I think it is going to be a dictator. But I'm not seeing it. Oh, here we have I something M. Yeah, if I didn't see the clue, I would think it might be an ism, but game of cards. Could it be IUM? Simple game. Yeah. I wonder if simple game might mean to anagram simple or hand thrown in. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Maybe simple, 6 letters, and a 3-letter for hand is thrown inside of that, and it's all going to be a game of cards. Let me pause and try and remember. We had a copy of Hoyle's growing up with the rules of all the card games. I used to love reading that. Well, I had to resort to wordplays.com in the end, and I'm very glad I did because I've never heard this name before. It's a card game called Pelmanism, but I think it's another name for concentration. The game where all the cards are turned over and you turn face up two at a time, and if they're a pair, you keep them, otherwise you turn them back down, and so really it's a memory game. I do remember playing it, but it is called another name is Pelmanism. So I presume it's somebody named Pellman came up with it, I think as a memory training technique. My goodness. Anyway, it is indeed an anagram of simple, and the hand that is thrown in is a man, as in a hand on a ranch, a cow hand or whatever, or a stage hand is a man, somebody who's going to work. I think that's the meaning of man and hand there. All right, that is very tough. I would presume at 15 squared we'll see a lot of people complaining about that one. All right, so here's our take a seat in restaurant, perhaps not beyond solver. Yeah, we don't have any G's in the clue, so we're not anagramming, or it's not a hidden clue. Take a seat. Oh, yeah, I'm wondering if actually not beyond solver is the definition, and it's not guessable, but it's, gettable. Oh, and to take a seat in a restaurant, of course, yes, is to get table. There we go. Oh, that's another fiendish one. Ooh, so now this must end in, I'm thinking it must be squelch. I'm having problems with typing, but when do I not? So shriek, having lost a companion. And shriek having lost a, so it's squeal minus the a, and then companion is companion of honor, ch, and a squelching sound does sound like something sucking, I suppose. All right, ooh, so this, maybe it's not exuded as a verb, but as an adjective, so we're looking maybe for some fluid that is exuded. Body. Oh, maybe it's body. Oh, I'm thinking of a corpus could be a body, usually a body of literature. And then jeepers, which has exuded fluid. What is that? Jeepers. Cripes are... Yeah, I'm not very confident about this. I would love it to be corpus, but I'm not getting jeepers minus its fluid. Anyway, let's... I am over the 30-minute mark, so I will check this. It is correct, so we'll have to go to 15 squared to understand it. Here is... so I might be right about it being... 0 is the O, and then we have head after it, and it's going to mean number 1. What could that be? Let me pause and ponder. All right, I had to go back to wordplays.com, and yeah, I did think, maybe the definition is number, and after the 0, we're going to have a word for head and put I for 1 in it. And that is how the wordplay works. But the word for head, we've seen it before, of course, is your pate. And so the definition is not number, but number. And an opiate would numb you. My goodness. All right, I'd love to get something on this top left. Both extremes, like so. Yeah, I think it is going to be something or something described by newspaper articles. Oh, if there's going to be a the as an article, I think it would come in that last word, ITHE, cache, something or wither or either. Um, Not sure. But now our killing in order. Not everyone for the dictator. Could it be an anagram of in order? No, we have an M. Yeah, what is that? Yeah, I'm not sure, but I will. I think I'm going to have to go back to wordplays.com. I'll try it with the O first, and if that's not right, then we'll see what it might be. All right, well, I didn't see anything good with O, so it's not that. So I think what it is, and I should have realized for the dictator, I don't know if we've had this recently, or maybe I saw it in one of the Cracking the Cryptic or David Webb videos, where for the dictator means as read out loud, and therefore it's a homophone. So not everyone is some, SOME, but for the dictator it's SUM. And so the definition is a killing, as in if you make a killing in a financial deal, you make a tidy sum, and in order is tidy. Oh my goodness, that is fiendish. All right, so this must be something to, ooh, cash. Both extreme. Oh, now I get both extremes of wealth would be rags to riches. So I do finally get my CH in there. And it's described by a newspaper, I think, is a rag. And then articles. Yeah. Cash both extremes described by newspaper. Article. Yeah, newspaper articles, I think, are rag stories. With the CH put inside. That is clever, but very tricky. All right, now our measure. Well, I'm thinking girth. Yes, I did think waist, but I think it's girth. In hindsight, it is a hidden clue backwards. We have G from the G and rightfully backwards, GIRTH. There we go. All right, sun. Oh, the sun would be a star. And I think if something dawns, it starts, but that is briefly seen. We only have the STAR. I don't love that, but I'm happy enough with it. We will check it, of course, at 15 squared. All right, here's our fridge magnet. Wonder. Could it be something to do with Stevie Wonder or the Seven Wonders of the world? Oh, yeah, I wonder if it could be, but I can't think of one that's H something not immediately apparent in fridge magnet. Yeah, I think that might simply be a cryptic definition. but nothing is coming to me. All right, I should be able to finish off the bottom right. Bomb ode declared, however. Yeah, and of course I'm not sure about that LLY, so let me remove those. Let's try our turn to specious note. That's what it is. Not seeing it. Let me just check handle with care. Oh, yeah, I shouldn't have removed that. There we go. All right. Flirt, cut by villain with end of weapon as slash scene. Oh, I think a slash, of course, is diagonal, so it would be seen diagonally. I'll put those LLY back in. Oh, and the flirt, if you flirt with somebody, maybe you dally. Is that right? I know there's a dalliance, but I think of dally as dilly-dallying. But anyway, the villain is Iago, and the end of the weapon. There we go. All right, action that brings up taste in food. Well, seasoning or... Yeah, but it's probably completely misleading. Nothing to do with that. Ooh, I do now have a nice G to start the second word here. Something God. Fridge magnet. Well, the G is in both fridge and magnet. Yeah, but I'm not seeing that it's a hidden clue because we don't have an H. Let me pause for a moment. All right, I did have to, in the end, go back to wordplays.com. And so I think the straight definition, I suppose, is just a wonder, maybe. But within fridge magnet, we have GEM, and therefore it's a hidden gem. Yeah, so I think it's probably, wonder if not immediately apparent is a hidden gem. And then within fridge magnet, you have to say, oh yeah, fridge magnet would be a way of cluing hidden gem. Very complicated. All right, so it's not stop, wait, POTU. Yeah, to wait might be, yes, so I should have thought of the president. It's not removing an S, it's removing the last letter. So Joe Biden becomes bide. Bide your time is to wait. All right, so now our action that brings up taste in food. Maybe action that brings up something like tabling emotion and then taste in food. No, I do wonder if it could be an ing ending, which then means boring thing. Jacketed male is going to begin with a G. Oh, yeah, there is a gilet. I think that's that sleeveless jacket. And a gimlet, I suppose, is a thing for boring. I've seen the word. It's a drink as well, right? A cocktail. Gimlet. But anyway, there we go. So, yeah, this must be ing. action that brings up, oh, barfing. Ah, so I was close with my acid reflux, but I think that's it. Let's check it. No, all right. In a way, I'm glad I was wrong. Let's reveal it. Ah, burping. That's much better. Yes, of course. So that does bring up the taste in food. Dear, oh dear. I should have got that. All right. Just this bottom right to go. Declared, however. Bomb ode. What's bomb? I'm going to have to go back to word plays, I'm afraid. Okay, well, I did see one of the possibilities is mind you, which I think would mean however. But how is the bomb ode? Ah, yes, so a bomb could be a mine, and if it is ode, it is due, and so put those together and it's mind you. So it was a homophone. There we go. All right, now our exposure of song just written. Ah, yes. So exposure of your body might be nudity. And I suppose if you say it in a certain way, it sounds like a new ditty. I bet at 15 squared there will be people complaining about that homophone. I think we haven't had a controversial one for a little while, but anyway, I think that definitely is. All right, turn to specious note. That's what it is. Yeah, I'm thinking it must be not or net, but which I do not know. Let's try our ailing. Like a detective. I think it's going to be dicey. I think you might describe your health as dicey. Certainly, I've heard people say they have a dicey stomach. So I think that's the ailing. And I think like a detective question mark is, well, actually, I'm not quite sure. Oh no, Dicky, I think a Dickie's stomach. Yeah, dicey, I think is risky. So a Dickie. So a detective can be a dick, a private dick. And so if you're like one, you're Dickie. There we go. All right. Here's our Veep, unfamiliar with King Edward, game for the reporter. Funny, use something. Why? Let me just check. Dicky, no, that's right. And check mind you, that's right. So what can come between the U and the Y? Veep? Could it be the name of a vice president? MacGyver. And then, so where would unfamiliar? Oh, yes. I suddenly realized that King Edward is also a potato. That came up recently and fooled me. I was just thinking of the king and it was the potato. And which vice president of recent memory had trouble when he was getting a child to spell potato? Dan Quayle. And so it is a homophone. So the first definition is the fairly straightforward one. Dan Quayle, unfamiliar with how to spell potato. And the reporter was a homophone. Quail, Quail, is a game bird. All right. Turn to specious note. That's what it is. I'm wondering if it's not free, but I don't know why that would be right. Let's check it. No, let's reveal it. Not true. Ah, So I think specious is, in the first place, telling us to anagram turn to, and then we add a note, which is E, and then the whole thing serves as the definition in a way, in that if something is specious, now specious is helping with the definition, then it's not true. Oh my goodness. Well, that was, I think the hardest one, certainly this week, and I think for a while, maybe 2 weeks. Let's go ahead and check everything else stayed put. All right, let's head over to 15 squared. All right, the blog today is by S.C. Chua. I never know how to pronounce that. Anyway, thank you to Paul. The crosses I didn't get. Oh yeah, jeepers. Core is like jeepers. Plus puss, fluid. Oh my, I should have spotted the puss. Yeah, there. Just so obvious. And then, yes, star is a short version of start. So there we go. And there's a photo of the derailleur, if that's how you pronounce it. Gettable, get table. I think I got all of the other crosses. There's artesian with the correct spelling that it took me a while to get. Diagonally, dally, to flirt or play with. Yeah, I suppose there is. Oh, well, I do appreciate S.C. Chua for putting in these illustrations. Of course, quail, he wanted potato to have a final E. I think he was thinking of the plural. Anyway, one down then. Yeah, so it is rare is telling us to anagram. All right. Oh, what was the homophone one? I thought there might be some. Yeah, so the blogger doesn't have any issues with that. Pelmanism. Yeah, that's something I learned today. The bung of unparsed put in palladium. Yes, did occur to me. Had to Google the bike part. Didn't know the card game. Undone by Pelmanism. Yeah. Really like. Oh, so they liked nudity. I thought somebody would. Oh, someone else liked it. But I'm surprised we haven't. Oh, there's someone giving us the traveling Wilburys, handle with care. All right, well, this video has been long enough, so I won't detain you any longer. Thanks as always for watching, and have a wonderful day and a wonderful weekend.